Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new Starfield video. Today we're discussing 10 things you might have missed in the Starfield release date announcement. We're starting this video off with something almost every game starts off with, the title screen. In this shot of a presentation we can see the screen in the background. And if we look at the bottom of the screen we can read the sentence, button to start. This is only a part of the sentence, but it probably reads something like press any button to start, or press X button to start. And I mean almost every title screen has some type of rendition of this sentence, so it is safe to assume this is Starfield's title screen or a previous version of it. Number 2. A new damage type. In the inventory menu we are looking at different kinds of helmets. And we can see that these helmets have 3 types of damage resistance. Physical, energy and EM. Physical is everything from your normal bullets to things like swords, batons and knives. And energy will probably be a lot of laser weapons, since we already saw the perk that gives you extra damage with laser weapons. With these things Bethesda definitely looked at Fallout 4, where you had physical, energy and radioactive damage. But instead of radioactive damage in Starfield we have EM. What does this actually stand for, you might ask? I think there is a good chance this stands for electromagnetic. And I mean, in the real world we have something called EMP weapons, which are electromagnetic pulse weapons, which can disable Electra over large distances. Currently EMP weapons aren't damaging to humans or other creatures, but since Starfield is set 300 years in the future, they might have developed some form of EMP weapons that are actually damaging to humans and creatures. For number 3, we have environmental resistances. Under the damage type resistances, we can see 4 more resistances: thermal, corrosive, radiation and airborne. The first 3 are really likely to be elements you need to withstand on the different types of planets, which kind of reminds me of No Man's Sky, where you had extremely hot planets, cold planets and radioactive planets. But then there is this 4th one, called airborne, and this is still a bit of a mystery. But if you have any idea what airborne could mean in this context, please leave it in the comments. Number 4. Looting levels up a skill. In this blurry gameplay in the background, we can see that once the player loots something, a notification pops up where we can clearly see a skill bar progressing. But it doesn't pop up immediately after the first item is looted. It seems to appear after a specific item is looted. This is likely gonna be ammo or either credits, since in Fallout 4 we had the 2 perks Grounger and Fortune Finder, which once upgraded it would increase the likelihood of finding ammo or caps in containers. But since you now have to do challenges to actually level up your skills, this is probably a challenge where you need to find X amount of credits in containers, and once you did that you can upgrade it to the next level, which in return lets you find more credits in containers. For number 5, we go back to the inventory menu. All the way on the bottom we can see a hide helmet in breathable area option. This would mean once you're in an area with enough oxygen, your helmet will automatically go off. This is definitely nice for the people who want to play in third person, so the beautiful face you created doesn't go to waste. Number 6. In Starfield we are using mass instead of weight to determine how heavy an object is. You might wonder, what is the difference? Well, the total mass of an object is the mass of all its individual molecules combined. And then weight is actually just the mass times the gravitational pull of the planet you are on. For games like Skyrim and Fallout this wouldn't be an issue, since it's all on the same planet. But in Starfield you're constantly going from planet to planet, so the weight of the object you are carrying is actually constantly changing. So why would they use mass over weight? Because your carrying capacity is basically just how strong you are, how much you can carry. If you would go to a planet that has only 20% of Earth's gravity, you would in theory be able to carry 5 times more. But on the other side of the spectrum, if you would go to a planet with 200% Earth's gravity, you would only be able to carry half of the stuff you would be able to carry on Earth, which would be able to make for a very interesting game mechanic or a very annoying one, depending on how you want to look at it. So that's why I think Bethesda opted to go for mass instead of weight, to just cut out the confusion and the need for always having to micromanage your inventory. At number 7 we have gravity manipulation. Over the years we have seen a lot of shots of these spinning rings and floating rocks, and once our friend here talked about the anomalies, we could see this building with debris floating around it. And inside there are these giant spinning rings that eventually form into some type of portal or black hole that actually lifts the player up. So overall we can see that these anomalies and rings have the power to manipulate gravity. And I think this could be a topic they tackle in the main story, the discovery of how gravity actually works. Cause in the present, in the real world, we actually don't know how it works. We just know that everything with a mass attracts everything else with a mass. But how it actually works on a quantum mechanical level, we just don't understand yet. Like I said before, Starfield is set 300 years in the future, so we might be getting a little bit closer to answering that question. Number 8 is a simple one, but it is that you can adjust the color of your HUD. We have seen most players play with just a normal white HUD, but in the back here we can clearly see that this player is playing with a pink or magenta colored HUD. And they definitely took this feature out of Fallout, where you were able to adjust the color of your Pip-Boy screen. Also in the background footage we can see gameplay from a brand new location, the Mars Mag Factory. And it makes sense that we get to see some more gameplay of Mars, since Cydonia is gonna be one of the larger cities in Starfield and was actually the first city humanity built outside of Earth. Also, we know we are going to Mars in the early game because Will Shen, the lead quest designer, told us we were going to go here to discover what actually happened to Earth. Number 10. After all these fun little details, this trailer also reconfirmed an annoyance I had with the game. If we look at this old gameplay footage from last year and then look at the footage from now, we can see prominently in the middle of the screen the XP notification. So every time you kill something or discover something, you get some XP. That's logical. But why put the notification in the exact center of the screen? Just put it to the side somewhere or in a corner, just anywhere else, but not in the middle. In the gameplay here, where the player is fighting a big group, every time he gets a kill, this notification just pops up in his crosshair. So I hope Bethesda hears this from enough people and actually moves it somewhere else, maybe next to the skill level up bar, or just gives us the option to disable it entirely, cause it's gonna become very annoying really quick if this just keeps popping up in the middle of your screen every time you get a kill. And on that note, we have reached the end of the video. I hope everyone at least learned one new thing about Starfield from this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more news, information and guides on Starfield. And then I'll see you guys at the next video.